Hello everybody, this is going to be a breakdown slash analysis of the Madden 17 Challenge Grand Final between Beast Mode Mac and Skimbo. So we got Beast Mode Mac starting off the game on defense with the Chiefs, Skimbo on offense with the Patriots, Mac running his nickel normal, pinch linebackers. That's the way he likes to run it. He runs a lot of nickel blitz and buck slant. Skimbo on offense and his signature gun bunch. It's basically the only formation you'll see him in on offense. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Obviously, we know Skimbo, very prolific offensive player. So he gets the ball first, and he'll be looking to put up 7 on his first drive. So first play here, Mac goes buck slant 3. Skimbo hits a C route on the left side. Looked like Mac had double defenders in the flat, which opened up the C route. Second down, Skimbo actually makes a dangerous throw here. What happens is Mac runs a buck slant 3, and what will happen is if he leaves these outside defenders in this seam flat zone, so he flips it, so he's got the corner blitzing off the right side, and then he's got the safety over here who's playing a seam flat. And so this year in Madden 17, if you have seam flats, it'll force your defenders into match coverage. So in this case, since there's only one receiver on the left side, it's this X receiver. Over here, he's running, I think Skimbo ran Z spot here, so he's running this post route right here. This third defender, the deep third out on the outside, out here, he'll match the route and actually convert to man-to-man. So that's what happens right here. And I think Skimbo expected, obviously, for Johnson to cut inside, and then he expected Beast Mode Max defender to not follow inside, but rather to keep playing his deep third. But instead, he converted to man and stepped inside on that route, as you see, and actually almost jumped it and picked it off. So dangerous throw on the second play of the game. Something that Skimbo will have to adjust to if Mac wants to sit in that buck slant 3. So 3rd and 4, pretty big play on the first drive here. Skimbo hits a seam route, but unfortunately Sanu drops it. And this is something that is actually open. The way Mac plays his defense, it's hard to see from this frame right here, but he'll bring a safety up into the box. The safety's actually right there behind the RB call out. And so he makes it look like the same defense no matter what, whether it's buck slant or whether it's nickel blitz too. But he'll bring the safety into the box. And so what happens is, since he's in buck slant in this case, the safety shoots out to play the flat. So he might be in a cloud flat, might be in a seam flat. It's whatever Mac wants him to be. But he plays this 3-deep shell. So that corner goes deep, and then the safety is playing the deep third. But since the safety starts off on the left side of the field, and in this case Skimbo has Mohamed Sanu running the seam route, since the safety's so far away and this defender over Sanu shoots to the flat, Sanu's actually wide open right here. So the only way for Mac to stop this is either he's got to adjust his coverage on the back end, or he needs to user it. So in this case, he did neither of those things, and Skimbo saw him. He might have thrown it a little bit late, actually, but in any case, it was kind of an unfortunate drop right there. So that's something Skimbo will definitely be looking to exploit as the game goes on if Mac doesn't adjust. So 4th and 4, big down on the first play. And once again, like I just talked about, Mac on defense, he runs it the same way every time, brings this safety into the box. But the beauty of what he does here is after the snap of the ball, you'll be able to see now, instead of this safety shooting out to the flat, it's nickel blitz 2. So he's running a cover 2 shell here. And Skimbo actually kind of got a little greedy and ran a very similar setup on offense this time. What he did was he left Sanu on the seam, which obviously is not going to be open anymore because 1, Mac is using it, and then 2, with the cover 2 shell and him moving that safety down, it does a much better job with defending that seam. He's got a flat route on the outside, which is manned up by Mac right there. He's going to have Chad Johnson running an in route. But as you see, and also on the right side, he's got this guy running a corner. But as you'll be able to see, Mac's going to have all this locked up because Mac has a flat zone on the outside. He's obviously usering and got a safety on Sanu. He's got a man-to-man on the running back out the backfield. And then Mac cross-manned this defender right here onto Chad Johnson. So Johnson's actually running an in route over the middle, but he's going to run right into the cross man. So you're going to see as the play develops, and Mac screams off the right side with that nickel back. And so as the play develops, you're going to see Skimbo literally has nobody open anywhere. He actually just doesn't have a read. He's about to get hit. And so it was a really good adjustment after Mac ran, buck slant 3 on the first 3 plays on defense, and then 4th and 4 he switches to nickel blitz and catches Skimbo off guard there. So Mac gets the ball. Mac also runs a lot of gun bunch on offense. Skimbo will be in this big dime 2-3-6 about 56% of the time on defense. He likes to run that slant zone 2 setup, and the way he'll run it a lot. That was a good throw by Mac right there across the field. The way Skimbo likes to run this buck slant, or not buck slant, sorry, slant zone, is he'll user of this defender right here, right? And so he hovers, he blitzes 3, so he'll send these 3. He'll spy this guy, and then what he'll have on the left side almost every time is he'll have a soft squat, and then he'll put this defender on the line in a hard flat. And so you got soft squat, hard flat on the left side almost every time. You got a backside soft squat. Obviously, you're in slant zone 2, so you've got the 2 safeties playing their deep halves. And then what he'll do is he'll put this defender right here. He'll kind of vary it. Sometimes he'll put him in a deep zone. Sometimes he'll put him in a hook zone. Sometimes he'll, man him up. It kind of depends on, I think, what he's expecting from the offense on that given play. But that's the main setup you'll see. And it's a pretty effective setup. He always shuts down the bench concepts on the left side, which is very common at a gun bunch. Anytime you have that running back on whichever side of the field, you got to worry about like the corner strike concept where the running back will hit the flat and then you got the C route behind it. So you'll see that as a very common setup for Skimbo, and it's obviously very, very effective as well. So especially when that blitz screams off the right side. Right there he actually rushed 4. Mac made a good read over the middle. The only weakness to this defense is that Skimbo's kind of left by himself to pick up everything. Right here, the blitz actually screams off the side, even though Mac blocked 6. The blitz still screamed. But as you can see, what'll happen, just hypothetically here, he's got the hard flat soft squat on the left side, and then he puts this defender into a deep zone. And this is kind of what he does a lot. So he'll put him in a deep zone. And granted, the blitz screamed this time, but it doesn't always scream. And so when it doesn't, and Mac has time in the pocket, Skimbo is basically left all alone with his user defender to user any routes over the middle that Mac has. So if Mac has more than one route going over the middle of the field, Skimbo is kind of left out to dry in a guessing game where he's basically just has to guess which one Mac's going to go to. And if Mac's patient enough, he'll basically always make the right read because he just has to read where Skimbo goes and then just throw it to the other player. But that was actually a really big sack right there. 2nd and 20, Mac was putting together a nice drive. So same setup on defense. Mac goes with the motion out, still screams. He's forced to dump it down into that hard flat. Picks up 0. So 3rd and 20 here. And Skimbo mixes it up and actually sends pressure from both sides. Mac has to throw it away and kick a field goal. So good stand right there from Skimbo after Mac was putting together a pretty decent drive. Also, Mac was squibbing the ball during this game because Skimbo, I think, housed like 3 or 4 kicks throughout the entire tournament. And so that was a good adjustment from Mac. Didn't want to lose the game on a kickoff. So right here, Mac once again, nickel normal, blitz is 5. And Skimbo does a good job. Has time in the pocket and reads the flat route on the left and gets the wheel underneath. And right there, that's the weakness of cover 2. Skimbo is finally able to exploit it a little bit there. And it's kind of RNG based off of what type of release you get. If you watch Pryor on the right side, he gets a pretty good release right there as the defender shoves him off. A lot of times the defender will press for a lot longer and force Pryor more to the inside to where this safety out here is able to get over and make a play on the ball quick enough. But in this case, Mac didn't get the best press animation, and Pryor was able to get a good outside release there. And also by Skimbo sending this man up the seam. Since the B receiver got pressed, the A receiver is actually a little bit further upfield, which gives the safety priority to look at him more so than the B receiver. So that's why the safety, you see, the safety is turned to the inside running with the A receiver. And so Skimbo recognizes, throws an outside pass lead to the outside to Terrell Pryor and picks up like 35 yards. So great read, good concept there from Skimbo, expecting cover 2, putting that safety in really a lose-lose situation. And then Skimbo comes back, hits a flat route against, it looked like it was cover 4 right there from Mac. And he blitzed 5, so he didn't have a flat zone out there. Good read by Skimbo, and he got in the end zone. So Mac comes back out, running HB draw. You can kind of have success running against land zone too. I've found the way Skimbo runs it, if he's not sending from both sides, if he's only sending 3 or 4, and Mac has shown that he's pretty good at running this HB draw at a gun bunch. Definitely something he's comfortable doing. So he could have a lot of success with that as long as he doesn't abandon it. And right here, Skimbo goes to dollar. So interesting note right there, just to keep in mind from Mac, is as soon as Mac started having success running the ball, Skimbo switched to dollar for the first time all game. So something he can kind of use to his advantage later on if he can catch on to any tendencies out of Skimbo in that regard. So now Mac goes to the shotgun 2-back look, and basically every single time I've seen Mac in this formation in the tournament, he runs the ball. So I'm sure Skimbo knows this as well, and so he's either going to run a HB draw or a power O, more than likely. Right here goes HB draw. So that's a big tendency from Mac. Anytime he's in that gun 2-back, he's basically running the football. 3rd and 5, he's forced to check it down. That was good from Skimbo. Sent the pressure off the right edge. And he had, once again, his same setup, hard flat, soft squat on the left side. And he's got this guy, he's kind of muddy up in the defensive line there. But what he did was he made the adjustment and he put Landon Collins in a hard flat. And the blitz actually screamed. So Mac didn't have time for this receiver. He actually ran a drag route, which occupied the flat. And then he was running this receiver on a C route. But the C route would have been open, but he didn't have time to throw it because of the blitz. So he was forced to check it down to the running back, or to the tight end rather, and Collins actually made a big hit there. So 4th and 5, big play here. Skimbo goes to dollar on 4th and 5. Runs DB fire 2 press right here. You see the double pressure coming off both edges. He's rushing 3. So it looks like just a standard DB fire 2 setup. It looks like he ran it stock actually. And Mac recognizes this. Stock DB Fire 2 will have a soft squat. And so the soft squat drops back with Larry Fitzgerald right there. Mac reads it, hits underneath, and picks up 7 yards. So good read from Mac on 4th and 5 right there.
Has turned the ball over 5 times.
Another good read from Mac over the middle, and that's kind of the problem with Skimbo's defense, is if he doesn't get that instant pressure, he puts a big burden on himself to guard everything over the middle.
Romo this time has time.
Right here, another really good patient play right there from Mac. Hitting Fitzgerald on the delayed slant route over the middle. Mac showing really good patience, putting together really long drives this game, which is exactly what you want to do against a player like Skimbo, who obviously is pretty prolific on offense. So I think Mac actually had like about as perfect as a game as you could want. In this game, Mac ran 50 plays on offense compared to Skimbo's 23, which is obviously like a 2-to-1 ratio, which is perfect. It's exactly what you want if you're a more ground and pound, run-oriented player like Mac is, compared to Skimbo, who just wants to air you out all game. So 2nd and 9, ball at the 9, 2-minute warning. And right here, Skimbo actually checked into a 3-4. He might have ran it the play before, but what he'll do when he checks into this 3-4, it's obvious because he gets Jake Ryan out on the outside now. So you got 2 linebackers, and he spreads them. Almost looks like dollar, but it's 3-4. And he basically will always run cover 4 from this set. It's basically his red zone, like run stopping type of defense. So that's definitely something Matt could have picked up on. Skimbo ran it, I think I counted 9 times this game. And right there, that's a good recognition by Mac there, because since Skimbo's in this cover 4, he's got this defender dropping deep. This guy, depending if Skimbo made any adjustments, I'm not sure what he did. He'll either be in a cloud flat or a seam flat. He didn't put him in a hard flat because he would have shot out a lot quicker. But so the running back for Mac, Isaiah Crowell, leaks out the backfield on that table route and just gets outside leverage since that linebacker initially sinks to the inside. So good read from Mac right there. It's a good way to attack cover 4 in the red zone when the field's really short. And right here is actually a beautiful play from Mac. Goes twin tight end. Skimbo goes with the run commit, and Mac goes with the play fake and gets pretty unlucky. Romo sails one into the stands. So that was just a guessing game. Mac guessed right, Skimbo guessed wrong, and he still didn't get rewarded. So unfortunate for Mac there. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. So right here, Mac actually kicks it to Skimbo and not able to make anything happen. So right here, first time all game you see Mac in this big dime setup now. So probably slant zone 2. First time all game. Sends it from the left. Skimbo gets a nice high point dot over the middle to Muhammad Sanu there. And right here, Mac comes out in again. So this time I think Skimbo says, all right, you're in slant zone 2. I'm selling out. So Skimbo blocks 7 and sends 3 guys out on routes. He streaks the Muhammad Sanu and the outside man, and he's got Chad Johnson on a wheel up the sideline. And so this is basically the verticals cover 2 beater. This wheel route gets very tender since the flat zones don't drop deep enough to stay with it. So Skimbo sells out on this game plan here and actually pays off. He drops back super far. I guess it was kind of necessary since Mac sent 6, it looks like. And he actually had it. Kind of a bad throw from McCoy and a pretty bad animation from Chad Johnson. And he's not able to drag his feet. Unfortunate there. And then this play is a great play to show the adjustment that goes in from the first quarter that Mac made. He obviously, like I was talking about earlier, he drops this safety down, and he'll put him in a this is buck slant, so we'll have, you know, his guys dropping like this. The safety shoots out to the flat. And so what Mac does now is he knows he's got to user this Muhammad Sanu route over the middle. Muhammad Sanu's run a seam. Mac knows he needs to user this. So what Mac does, Mac users it long enough until the safety gets over far enough to where the safety can pick him up. And then Mac peels off and comes and clamps down on the delayed slant. It's actually a really good play. Users it. Now he feels comfortable in letting it go because he thinks that, you know, his corner and safety are in a good position to make a play on it, and clamps down on the slant and breaks it up. So great play right there from Mac that, you know, someone who didn't have any context or background on that wouldn't realize what actually happened. So great play right there. Skimbo gets kind of lucky, completes a post route into coverage. Right there, another errant throw from Colt McCoy. 2nd and 10. Skimbo just trying to get some points here before half. It's a flat route out to Virgil Green.
Far by Virgil Green, and he gets out of bounds at the 30-yard line.
Catch, or good read right there. And right here, first time all game, Mac runs this. He sends 3. He doesn't send the nickel blitzer. He sends 3, and he mans up the nickel blitzer on this delayed slant route. And I think this throws Skimbo off. I don't know if Skimbo even saw him on this play. And he just instantly throws it, and Sam Shields jumps it and picks it off. So, great adjustment from Mac right there. First time he did it all game, and it pays off. That's when it feels really good, you know, when you make an adjustment for the first time all game in a clutch situation, and it actually pays off with a turnover. So Mac here, gun twin tight end, running some interesting sets. Just trying to get some points on the board here before halftime. Got 23 seconds and 1 timeout. Gun trio.
Play action.
Dropping back pretty far. Nice dot right there. Take what the defense gives you. Like that. You're in no rush here. You got time. You need about 25, 30 yards. You got plenty of time.
Here comes the heat, gets rid of it.
Right here, yeah, he kind of got forced into making a quick throw right there. Skimbo sent some good heat, and Mac went to take a shot, and safety just got over fast enough. And right there, Skimbo picks up a flat route, gets into field goal range. The problem here was Mac sent nickel blitz, or It's actually buck slant. You see the cover 3 shell. But he dropped Jabal sheared off the line into a hard flat, and he's not going to get out there quick enough. Although he had a defender in a hard flat, just the leverage and the speed of a defensive end is not going to get out there quick enough. So Skimbo recognizes that, picks up about 20 yards down the sideline, kicks a field goal, going to halftime. So 10-6 half. Matt gets ball second half and actually makes a really good read right there because Skimbo was in 2-man under for the first time all game, and Mac actually diagnosed it pretty quickly and threw a dot. And then on the second play, makes probably his worst read of the game. Lucky that post route did not get picked off against triple coverage. Comes back, run an HB draw, which I like. You know, settle down after you make a questionable read. Skimbo sends the heat on 3rd and 4, so 4th and 4, big play right here. Skimbo in his slant zone 2 look. Mac runs this package. Now, I went over this in the Mills game. Whenever Mac motions this receiver over, what he'll like to do is he'll run verticals, and he'll put this receiver on an in route. He'll drag Walford, and he'll have Diggs running this deep crossing route, and he'll have Robinson streaking. So he creates a flood, a weak side flood, that takes a little while to develop on the left side of the field with a backside, you know, in route. And this is actually a really good concept here because what happens is Skimbo recognizes the route combo. He knows he doesn't have to worry about the tight end because he's got a hard flat. And Skimbo's running, he's underneath this A receiver. And he's in decent position. I don't know how fast Skimbo's guy is, but he should be able to keep up with that A receiver to be able to make a play. But what happens is you'll see Skimbo hesitates for about a quarter of a second because he sees this B receiver running this in route across the field. Right here, Skimbo stops. And what this does, Skimbo actually stops and then starts running again. As soon as he stops, he might as well just clamp down on that B receiver because there's no way he's going to recover in time to cover the A receiver. But he stops, keeps running with the A receiver. Mac actually could have taken his pick. He could have just thrown it to B receiver right now. But he actually was more patient, hit the A receiver. This is tough because, you know, Skimbo has, you know, hard flat soft squat on the left side. Just the soft squat's not, doesn't get deep enough to guard this A receiver. And because of that in route from Fitzgerald, Skimbo hesitated just for a fraction of a second, and that made all the difference. So great route combo by BeastModeMac right there in a very clutch situation. So 1st and 10, Skimbo goes to dollar. Switches to dollar. He's been running, you know, anytime he's in dollars, usually DB fire 2 press. Right there, he sends the 5. Matt goes for a high point over the middle. Might as well take a shot there. Skimbo back in the big dime. Mac runs the same look as he did on 4th down. Looks like the same play. This time the pressure screams, and Mac has to check it down. Picks up 5. So now Skimbo back to dollar. So Skimbo doing a good job of, you know, mixing up his defensive looks. Mac just doing a better job of diagnosing and finding the open man. That's just tough. It's tough for Skimbo because, you know, Mac's just kind of making all the right reads here. So Skimbo goes down to this 3-4, like I said earlier. He likes it in the red zone as a run-stopping defense. Pro wins a tackle battle and picks up 4 down to the 2. So Skimbo's got sneak D. He goes goal line, tries to sneak it from the 2. Interesting call there from Mac. So it looks like he's going to go back to that I-type pair. Skimbo back to the 3-4. Mac goes HB stretch, gets an auto spin and walks in. All right. So that was a really good drive from Mac. You know, made some clutch throws, converted on some clutch downs. So good drive. Very good drive from him to start off the second half. Right here. Buck slant 3. Sends the heat. Skimbo can't get rid of it in time. Again, buck slant 3 here. Skimbo throws the post route, and he dropped it. That was unfortunate. It was a good read. Mac was basically relying on a manned-up linebacker to stick with Allen Robinson. And as you see, Robinson's got a little bit of a lead on the linebacker there. So good read by Skimbo. Unfortunate that he wasn't able to hold on to it. I would have made the same exact throw, more than likely. Right there, the linebacker does a better job of sticking with that post route. So that's just how it goes sometimes in Madden. It's right here, 4th and 10. I don't love this play call from Skimbo. Mac actually had a really good defense. Skimbo tries to send like 4 verticals at a gun bunch, and Mac actually had everything locked up. He's in I think this is nickel blitz here, and so he's got deep safety, deep safety. He mans up this guy on Chad Johnson, so Mac doesn't have to worry about Johnson getting open at any point. This soft squat out here, I think this was a soft squat that converted to man, and so he runs with the deep route right there. Mac's obviously using this seam route, and then Mac actually, I don't know if he predicted this. If he did predict it, it's a hell of a prediction because Skimbo didn't run this at all the entire game, but he happened to drop this defensive end right here into a deep zone, and he did a perfect job of guarding this running back out the backfield that Skimbo put on a streak right here, Tevin Coleman, who's going to be streaking up the seam. He did a fantastic job. So Mac was actually in like the perfect defense for this play, which is pretty crazy, and he's basically forced to throw it into double coverage there and can't pick it up. So Mac picks up. Mac's just outplaying Skimbo on the clutch downs, I would say. I'd say they're both playing well, but Mac's just making the plays when it matters. So Skimbo back in the 3-4, cover 4 here. Mac hits the underneath dragon route, picks up about 4 or 5, picks up 4 there. So right here, the 2nd and 6, Mac back in this gun 2 bunch, Skimbo in his 3-4, cover 4. So Skimbo definitely expecting the run, and Mac lives up to the reputation of only running the ball out of that formation. So once again, now Mac goes to gun bunch. Skimbo still in this 3-4. It's still the 3-4 setup with the linebackers spread out really wide. So Mac in gun bunch against this 3-4. Earlier he had success hitting Crowell out the backfield, if you remember, on this table route because this linebacker wasn't able to get out there fast enough. So that's something to keep in mind. And that time the linebacker played it a little better. Ooh, he actually made a pretty late read on an in route and still caught it. So 4th and 2, Mac's going to take his 3. So goes up 6 in the 4th here. So Skimbo down 6, really needs a touchdown. HB base for the first time all game. This is just kind of unfortunate here. He tried to get sticky and cut back. He wanted Mac to over pursue, but Mac didn't bite and actually lays a hit stick with Larry Wilson of all people. And Coleman coughs up the ball on his first run of the game, and Mac takes over. So Mac in a really good spot here. His defense been playing well. Really, all he needs is 3 to feel really comfortable. He stays on the ground. I-twin tight end stretch. Goes to gun bunch. Skimbo back in his slant zone 2. Screams, can't get it off. Screams again and throws a flat. Skimbo's been getting a lot of hit sticks out in the flat with Atlantic Collins, but Mac hasn't caught up with the ball yet, so pretty fortunate there. Once again, slants into Screams. Atlantic Collins makes a huge play in the flat to stop the first down on 4th down, so that was huge. Skimbo goes back to this play that he ran on the first play of it was the first drive of the game. It wasn't the first play, but this Mohamed Sanu route. Basically, Mac needs to user it. He doesn't. Mac's got, it's the buck slant 3 with the safety shooting out, and then Mac needs to user this for it to be covered. I think Mac got a little over aggressive there. I'm not sure what he was expecting. Maybe he was expecting like a drag or something, but Skimbo identifies and hits it. So good read from Skimbo.
And all of a sudden he's at the 25-yard line. With
momentum switch from your opponent to your side, and that was
goes back to HB base, takes another big hit.
So 2nd and 10 at the 25. There's some motion to the right. Colt McCoy, that campus hero.
Goes for the aggressive high point over the middle. And this actually, it's a fortunate animation for Mac. But honestly, this could be a result of, Mac moving the safety up and putting him, far. Because, the normal position for the safety is probably about, like, out here. And so Mac actually moves him down and inside. So what this does, it puts him in a better position to defend against that seam streak. Because he starts off with better inside positioning. So, maybe that's something Mac labbed up, and he knew that, he didn't have to worry about that against, his nickel blitz. He felt comfortable with his safety making that play. good for him right there. Skimbo went for the one-on-one and it just didn't pay off. He just didn't win the coin flip. That's how it goes sometimes. So Mac really in control here. Just kind of needs a couple first downs to ice this game. Goes with the sneak. Skimbo showed that he had sneak D out of that formation earlier. So 3rd and 1. First time all game Mac comes out in this gun snugs. Skimbo in dollar, and he runs an HB draw and picks up the first down. Okay. So,
we didn't talk a lot about it today, but Michael Skimbo,
that was a close one.
Been ill coming in this one, had a rough night.
HB base here. He really needs one more first down to win the game.
Through that, we're under 90 seconds.
So right here, gun bunch. Remember what he likes to do here. He likes to put this in route, have a drag, a deep cross, and a streak. We'll see if he goes back to the same concept. He usually runs it from right to left. This time he'd be running it from left to right. So it looks different. It looks like it's not the same anymore because it looks like it's PA post.
Snap.
Checks it down, takes a huge hit from Landon Collins and picks up 7. So 3rd and 3 for the tournament here. If Matt gets this, he wins. Skimbo in dollar, which is very interesting that he's in dollar for his tournament life since he's so comfortable in that slant zone too. Mac flips his gun bunch.
Romo back to the air.
And he throws a high point dot for the tournament. So tough from Skimbo there. It looked like his user kind of got caught up in no man's land if you look at it. I'm not sure what he was. Maybe he was expecting a HB draw there. Maybe he thought Mac would run it. But Mac goes with a left side flood concept. You see this. This is an out route right there. Corner route, streak. And Skimbo actually had a perfect defense to defend it right here, if you look, because he's got, the hard flat to stop the out route. He's got the cloud flat to stop the corner. All Skimbo needs to do is use this streak route. And Mac really has nothing. The only thing he'd have to worry about really is this halfback on this. He's going to sit down on this curl route out the backfield, but you kind of have to hope. He's got a man right there in it looks like a hook zone. You just have to hope the hook zone plays that. So Skimbo was actually in the right defense, just got a little too aggressive with the user. Mac made the right read, throws a high point over the middle. Clive Walford comes down with it, and that's going to be the game. Mac's going to take a couple knees, punt it to Skimbo. Skimbo throws a corner route right here, doesn't get out of bounds, and the clock runs out. So that was the game. Great game from both players, in my opinion. I thought they both played really well. Mac had pretty much the perfect game in terms of how you want to play against a player like Skimbo. You want to keep his offense off the field, control the clock, and convert on those important downs. And Mac definitely converted on a lot of his important get off the field downs. So great game from both of them. Congrats to Beast Mode Mac. It was a lot of fun analyzing this game, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, take it easy.